Right, on my 100th video. Admittedly, most of those are shorts, so not long videos, but I just thought I'd spend a bit of time just reflecting. I think what's really important is this time of year. This is quite late in the evening. I think I'm just sat. You can't see the fish that much because it is dark outside. The light's picked up quite well in here, but just making sure that you sit back and enjoy koi keeping when you can. I think constantly running around checking water parameters, checking fish, cleaning filters, changing pipe work, all that kind of stuff. I think it's really important that when things are going well, because there's definitely points where things are going well, and there's definitely points when things are not going so well. So I think when they are going well, you just got to remember to just sit down, take a second, and remember what koi keeping is all about. So I just thought I would just go through some of the symbolism of koi, so that when we're thinking and appreciating our ponds, we should be thinking about what that means to us, what that means to you. For me, I think it's about sitting down, relaxing in a quiet, calm setting where it's just peaceful, and the fish are like a TV screen, like a moving piece of artwork. They're colourful and they're just slow and they glide around. And I think the sound of the music, sound of the water, whether it's a gentle waterfall, whether it's just a tiny little trickle I've got coming through over the back there, it just slows you down, definitely brings your heart rate down, and it should be relaxing. It should be something we can sit down any time and just enjoy it. So whether it's an evening or a weekend, we should be able to go to our ponds and just look at the fish, and it should relax us. It should be calming. Now, I know it's not. I know at times it's manic, you find something wrong, you need to do something, it's, you're running around trying to sort something out, it's hectic. Or for most, at some parts of the year, it's pretty energetic, whether that's building a pond or improving something. You can find yourself just in not being a koi keeper, not being a water keeper, being a builder, or a creator of a filter, or whatever it might be. But it's not koi keeping. I suppose that is koi keeping, right? It's got to be part of the hobby. But I think what I'm just trying to emphasize is that there's all those things that are koi keeping, but the main part should be the enjoyment, just sitting still, looking at the fish, feeding the fish as well. I can see him now. Just chilling out in a nice, quiet, relaxing environment. So if you haven't done that for a while, and things have been a bit hectic, just make sure that you do. I think it will just ground you. It will just make you feel more relaxed. I'm sat here with hot chocolate. It looks like, I don't know what it looks like. It looks like a pint of Guinness or something, but it's hot chocolate. I'm just sat here, just watching the fish and just chilling. I haven't got any issues. My filters are working fine. I haven't got any flukes. I haven't got any parasites. I'm putting the kiss of death on this now. But I haven't got any problems at this point in time. I haven't had, to be fair, all summer in the main pond. So I've had a really nice, relaxing summer. I say summer because I built this at the start of the year. So I built this starting December, the end of last year. So it's been full on January, February, March, April, was block building, gloves, cement, craziness. But the summer months, really hot, no rain, I was just able to just sit down and just chill. So it's been really, really nice. So if you aren't doing that enough, make time to do it. Just chill out and have a look. Now, I was looking online of the symbolism of koi. So, and I think it's interesting when you're just sat there chilled out looking at your fish, the types of fish that you like, because we all like different fish, whether it's a wagoi, a doits, an aragoke, or whether it's, I don't know, a shiro azuri, a sake, haku. The types of fish and the breeds are just vast, but we all like something a bit different. Majority of people possibly who like to really get into the hobby end up focusing more on gosanki, so the reds, the whites and the blacks. But many people, or more people now, still like a bit more of the wacky and wonderful stuff. So I'm in between at the moment. I like my wacky and wonderful. Obviously like my Aragoke, do like Aragoke. But also I'm starting to like the gosanki a bit more as well, and appreciating that those gosanki are just so hard to produce. When you look at the ratios of fish that make it through from fry to actual, like a showfish, it's just 1 in a million, literally 1 in a million. So when I look back at the fry I had, only 1% were keepers. So, and when I say keepers, they weren't that great. So, I think these fish that you see in these shows are 1 in a million fish. And I think the more you are looking at gosanki, the harder it becomes, so the ratio is probably even less. So I'm just going to take a bit of time and I'm just going to talk to you briefly about colours of fish. So I'm going to start off with red. So things like anything with red. Kahaku is the obvious one, red and white, but there's red on there. Showas, sankis, whatever it might be, benigoi, for instance. So the red on a koi represents love, passion, and bravery. That's really interesting just to think about that for a second. So love, passion, and bravery. So I get that red would symbolize love, red being red. But passion, I suppose that comes hand in hand with a bit of love and red. But bravery is a bit different. And these are what koi are symbolic of. And I also think that koi are associated with the samurai as well. So I can see where bravery comes in, but red specifically for those 3 things. So if you like fish with red on them, you might say that you are a loving, passionate, brave person. So there you go. You can take that if you want. Black. So if you like black fish, any kind of fish with a black on it, so it might be shiro azuri, or it could be a showa or a dark sanki. Anything with black. I can't think of a really black fish, but I think I've got a couple in here, but I'm not entirely sure what they're called. But black symbolises resilience, overcoming adversity. So interestingly, black and resilience I don't necessarily associate those 2 colours, or that colour with resilience or overcoming adversity, but that's what it symbolises. And so if you like any of those fish, you could say that possibly you are a resilient person who can quite easily deal with adversity. So if you like a shiro azuri, maybe that's you. Goldfish. I'm not talking about, a goldfish. I'm talking about a fish that is gold. So I'm talking about Yamabukis probably is the obvious choice of a yellow fish, and probably Karashi goi you could probably class as yellow or gold. So that symbolises wealth and prosperity. So I totally understand that. If you've got a big whacking great big Yamabuki in your pond, stands out like a sore thumb, and yeah, it symbolises wealth and prosperity. And if you like Yamabukis, if you're sitting there thinking, I love a Yamabuki, it's my favourite fish, you are probably someone who is attracted to wealth and being prosperous. You can be attracted to it, whether you've got it or not, it's another thing, right? But I think if you're keeping koi, probably you're losing all your money. A blue fish, and I'm thinking with that possibly asagi and shisuis. Blue is symbolic of serenity and peace. Interesting. I mean, one of my favourite colours is blue, and I think of blue, I think of the sea or the ocean. Yeah, and when I think of seas and oceans, and the sky even, very much represents serene, peaceful, especially landscapes, and the sea can be very peaceful. So if you like a blue fish, asagi or shisui, possibly you are quite a serene, peaceful person. It's getting a bit dark now, so but hopefully you can still see some of the fish swimming around in the pond there. White is an interesting one. Most fish would have white on them, and I don't think as a koi keeper we probably appreciate white as a colour as much as we should, because they are in or on nearly all of our fish. But I don't ever think of Sroji, the white, being something that someone says, oh, I really love a white fish. Maybe they do. I think you definitely say the white on that fish looks amazing. So, but it's probably not a colour that we necessarily go after. So white's an interesting one. You're probably saying, no, actually, no, I love a white fish. Not necessarily a Shiro Muji, but it might be something like a Shiro Zuri or a Beko, or Sankey, Showa, Kahaku, all got white on them. So white stands for purity and new beginnings. And I think when I think of white, I think of a wedding, and that would definitely represent new beginning for sure, wedding, and also the purity as well. So that makes sense quite a lot. So if you've got a tendency to pick a white fish, then I don't know, maybe you're quite a pure individual and you're looking for a new beginning. I'm not sure what that might be. Tanchos, let's talk about tanchos. So tanchos are the national, they represent the national flag of Japan. So there's national pride involved in the tancho, and also honor. Tanchos are symbolic of honor. So if you're an honorable person and you a very proud individual, maybe that's why you like a tancho, or you just like look at them. I don't know. And then two more. A benigoi. This is quite funny. So benigoi is goes back to the red color, which represents love, but a benigoi is passionate love. So, you know, if you're a passionate lover or just passionate generally, maybe benigoi is the fish for you. So if you've got a pond full of benigois, you're an Adonis, I'm sure. And then the last one I've got on here is a butterfly koi. Now, that's going to really divide things and quite possibly is like Marmite here, be like Tamasaba. Butterflies aren't necessarily something that everyone likes. I think quite a lot of I see quite a lot of Europeans and American koi keepers do have quite a lot of butterflies. So it's not necessarily a UK thing, but it is definitely a wider spread an attraction. So butterflies actually represent, butterfly koi represent grace and transformation. So if you're a transformative person with a lot of grace, that's why you're keeping butterfly fish. I think that's possibly one of the reasons. Right, I'm going to leave it there, and it's getting a bit too dark, I think. Might be able to turn the lights on a little bit. Let's have a look. don't know if that's really going to make much difference, but let's have a look. Oh, I don't know. You might still be able to see them swimming around, maybe. Let's go with it. Let's go if you can. Right, so it says here on my little computer screen that personally and spiritually, koi keeping reflects someone's personal identity, emotional landscape, and extends beyond mere aesthetics. So I think what that's trying to say is that koi keeping is something that relates back to your identity. And it is very emotional, and it is part of your life or your aesthetics, just part of you. So I think if I think back to myself, I think personally I've always been into koi keeping. Not necessarily koi to start with, but fish keeping. I remember as a child having a fish tank in my bedroom. I think that's where it probably started. And I lived down the road from a koi farm as well. So I was very lucky to grow up near that. So yeah, I think possibly not everyone would be able to share that same experience. It's quite unique, but probably everybody who's into koi or appreciates koi probably has had some connection with water, ocean, fish at some point that's drawn them in. But I definitely think it is an individual thing, very unique to someone, and I suppose probably a personality trait that you're really in tune with probably nature and water, and the fish seem to come along with that. I think if I wasn't keeping koi, I'd still be probably going fishing and doing all those other kinds of things that linked back with maybe the sea, the ocean, the water, rivers, that kind of stuff. So I like going canoeing, swimming. If you go on holiday, I love a bit of scuba diving or snorkeling. So, if it wasn't koi keeping, there would be something else that would bring me close to water, either the sound of it or the aesthetic of it, or fish generally. So I can kind of relate to that. I think it is definitely part of me spiritually and emotionally and personality wise. Yeah, love it all. Brilliant. And then there's a bit of mindfulness, I think, in koi keeping, but I use that loosely because it's also quite destructive as well. So whilst it can be mindful in the sense that it's quite healing, it's quite therapeutic, and it can be quite relaxing and tranquil and serene, all those kinds of things, it can also be completely opposite to that, very destructive, stressful, anxious, and upsetting as well. So I think it's a real roller coaster. But focusing in on people being aware of their pond and also spending time around their pond and enjoying it, I think we need to look at the positives. So caring for koi, maintaining their environment, fosters mindfulness, peace, and a rewarding experience. And I definitely think that's true. If we take out some of those negative elements that do make it a roller coaster, when it is more plateaued, less crazy, it is very rewarding, and I think it does definitely give back. I would say that for sure. For me personally, it's something that you've nurtured like a child. You've nurtured a small fish to become a big fish. You're looking after the environment. You're looking after the water. You're everything to those fish. If you don't look after the water, they won't survive. So the fact that you're you're caring for the water and you're caring for them, it is rewarding. It means you're experienced, you're a good fish keeper, a good koi keeper. So I think that's part of the enjoyment. I think enjoying the fact that you've been able to achieve that does actually pay back, does definitely give you something back, and just helps you appreciate it a little bit more. So I'm going to leave it on that. I think it's getting really dark in here now. I haven't actually got any lights in this pond yet. So I've built a nice pond, got a window, plants, all that kind of stuff. But there's no lights in here. So I do need to rig some up. It's not been a priority for me because it's been such a lovely summer. But now the autumn's here, the winter's setting in. I do need to get some lights in here quite clearly. Can't see at all. So yeah, so I'm gonna finish it there because I can't now see very much, and I'm not sure how much you guys can see through that glass. But yeah, I think all I want to say is make sure you go out, appreciate your fish, appreciate the colours of your fish, appreciate everything about them, what they mean to you, and enjoy moments where you've got those calm, tranquil periods. So forget about the highs and the lows. When it's nice and balanced, everything's going well, just make sure you sit down and enjoy those periods, because you blink and the flukes will be back. I'll leave it there.